Welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm joined by a very inspiring guest. She's a massage therapist and a teacher in alternative therapies with a fascinating personal journey. From being shy and letting others make decisions for her to breaking free, traveling the world, and building a meaningful career in Spain. Francy, welcome to Fortitude and Flow, the podcast. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So, I think that we should just start from the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood and teenage years?
Well, I come from a family which has split up when I was about 3 years old. So I was living with my mom, and we had to move quite a lot to different areas to live. So I also had to change school quite a lot as well. And changing school brings with it that you have to start all over, new friends, adapt to teachers and stuff like that. So I had trouble with that. I felt quite shy, the more quiet type. To be honest, I wasn't a bad student, but if you have to change the environment every time, it's every time a step back and then get back in. So yes, I had to change a couple of times the schools, and I was quite shy, and I think the students also felt that, my fellow students. They started to kind of bully me. And I had difficulties coping with that. In the school itself, I wasn't a bad student. I did quite good. I had one little thing. I'm a little bit dyslexic, so turning around words or turning around numbers. I had some trouble with that. And when I had to read out loud at school, also students were laughing. Luckily, I had a good couple of teachers that helped me getting through that. But still, reading wasn't really my best subject.
I can imagine, and it's actually hitting me very a lot now, because it happens to me too. So I can understand that also, that basically having to change schools when you are a child, you go very out of your safety zone, and you need to start to get new friends, and it's not always that easy. And with having challenges when it comes to dyslexia or dyslexic, it's very hard when you have to be in front of the whole class and or read or doing math, and you basically are not understanding it. It's very hard.
It blocked me. You know, you're perfectly capable of doing something when you're alone, but when you are in front of a group or you have to read out loud in the class, that was really, really difficult for me.
It's very traumatizing, actually, and I think that's back in those days, even when I was in school back in 90s, that was a method they thought was good to learn, and the student would learn, but basically you get actually more blocked. Yes, it's really not building self-confidence.
No,
Not at all.
So moving to another place and having to go to another school, sometimes it was harder. But you learn as well along the way, because you think, if that situation is going to occur again, I'm not going to react this way. So in some way, it is a learning curve that with the challenges that you get through life. So I studied in my family, for example. I was living with my mom and my sister and my brother, and my mom took all the decisions for us, which was perfectly fine, especially for me. It was a bit harder for my sister, but for me that was fine, because as a non-dominant person, she took all the decisions. And when it came to choosing what I wanted to be, I really, really would would have wanted to be a hairdresser because I was good with my hands, or I am good with my hands. I like art and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, I can see myself being a hairdresser. But I was also doing well at school. So my mom said, well, you can always be a hairdresser. Maybe you should try to study something that is more challenging because you're a good student. So she put me in a direction of, working in an office, maybe doing accountancy. And I studied that. Accountant, yes,
Okay.
accountancy.
Where was this and where are you from, basically?
Yes, sorry, I am from Belgium.
Yes, nice.
And yes, I've lived there till I was about 36. So I went through school there, and my first years as, not in the house anymore, marrying, that was all in Belgium. So yeah, in the school I was learning to be an accountant, which again brought in challenges because of my dyslexia and changing numbers around. In accountancy, you're not allowed to do that, or it's no good. But I've learned all the tricks in the books to get the errors out. So there are tricks to, if you see there's a certain formula, and when a number is turned over, you will get a certain result. And I've found them very quickly. So I was more of a problem-solving.
You did adapt very good to it, then. That's very good, actually. And probably necessary in that kind of a job.
Yes. Yeah.
And yes, you said that you were very shy as a child, and you were you were a non-dominant person, and your mom was basically the in control and dominant person. So how did that affect you when it also comes to maybe not standing up so much if you were bullied in school and stuff? It's not that easy.
No, when in the family environment, my mom was the one that took all the decisions. For me, that was okay. My sister had a bit more problem with that. But in school, I had to do it on my own. My mom is not there next to me. So it was harder there. I had one good friend, and she stood up for me. She was a redhead. So she had red hair, and I think she knew from the beginning also she was bullied, probably. But she stood up for herself, and she became a very good friend of mine, and she stood up for me. So I kind of also got behind her, but she was a very good friend, and still we are in contact.
That's lovely to hear, because it always helps if you have at least one person on your side. Yeah. It does, and bullying, especially now, I've read in Norway, is such a big thing again. You are a teacher. Why do you think it's like that in school?
Well, I've come across some bullying even between adults in my school, and I try to bring the people together. It shouldn't happen, but everybody's got their character, and sometimes it is not compatible. But then, okay, you need to see how far you can go, and for the rest, you separate the people. You say, you do your thing, and leave each other alone.
Even with adults?
Yes,
Really?
with adults.
Wow. Okay, then if adults starting to bully each other, of course children will do. And they learn it from somewhere. Children. Unbelievable. But I'm glad that you are taking care of that.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen in my class.
No, it should not happen anywhere. It can really affect people through their life. And how did that affect you, do you think? Did you get you got strength from it as well?
Like I said, you get the challenges in life and you adapt to it. You start thinking about how can I do that differently the next time. And so I got along. It was easier for me once I had that connection with that friend. She helped me a lot. And then from then on, I could kind of stand more on my own 2 feet. But still, I was not a very dominant person, not through childhood, not through teenager. And even in my marriage, I got to know a very nice man. But to be honest, he also took the decisions in our marriage. He told me, for example, he stimulated me to do some exams to work for the government, because in Belgium they are very well paid and they're very good contracts. And I did it because he's told so, and I was good at it. Out of a selection of 2,500 people, I was second.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yes.
You must have been very good in school. It's something that you really...
And not so
did
very well. If in school, when people or the teachers were telling me something, I didn't need to study. But if I needed to study from a book, like I told you, I'm dyslexic, when I had to read it and understand, I couldn't. So it was a bit of a giving and taking.
I was finding your own way learning things then.
Yes.
And it worked out very well. That's good. And the job in government, how was that? How old were you then?
I was then 20 years old. I studied till 20, and then I had my diploma, my graduate in accountancy. And I went first. My first job was in the Ministry of Agriculture. I had to pay out the grants for the young farmers. And unfortunately, it was a bit of a rough time for the young farmers then. So they kind of came on the street in front of the building with their trucks and everything demonstrating. So I felt really intimidated about that. But anyway, that was my job there. I did that for a little bit more than a year. And then, because I was second in the selection, I could choose where I could go, because I had first right. So I had my eye on the Ministry of Labour, and that's my other job that I did for the government in the accountancy, first in the head office in Brussels for 8 years, and then I went to the departments in Antwerp, so where I lived then at that time. And I did the accountancy, and I did the logistic for the 13 buildings. So, but that was not so easy.
A lot of responsibility, I have to say, and very impressive.
Yeah.
And very young when you started that.
Indeed, I was about 28 when I started to become quite important, being a high person in there. I needed to go to the board and be there amongst all the big people in the company. And for me, that was very difficult, because I can sit around the table with 10 people, but when I had to open my mouth, nothing came out. Really, I could have prepared all my material as good as I possibly could and studied it, and from the moment that they said, "Francy, show me the numbers," nothing came out of my mouth. Really, it's really annoying when that happens.
It's very annoying when that happens. When you really that's basically when you really need it to actually go great. When you're in a meeting like that, I can just imagine. But I think that, like you said, you being a shy and non-dominant person, and you came a long way very fast.
Yes, but when it came to talking in front of people, I just couldn't. And I had to change that, and I had to change that very quickly. So the way I actually did that was, I thought, okay, what could I do? What would I feel comfortable with speaking in public? Out of everything. And I thought, well, I haven't got a bad voice, really. I like to sing. So if I could maybe sing in front of people, maybe then I could also stand and tell about the numbers, something so boring as accountancy, but in front of people. So I joined the company band.
It was a company band.
Band.
That's really
Yes,
cool.
and they played jazz and blues music.
Ah, nice.
Singing jazz and blues music. But it took me a long time, and I was so happy because the guitarist, he had a lot of patience with me. He took me apart, he was just jamming along, and it took him a lot of sessions before I actually dared to open my mouth and that some sound would come out. But in the end, I got there, really. It took him probably 2-3 months for me then to join the rest of the band and start singing. And the first gig that we did was on a fair where they join people that are looking for a job and the companies, you know, to find each other. And we were doing the background music.
That's
And I
really
was
awesome.
singing in front of 1,000 people. So I kind of thought, if I can do that, you know, then I can also do my job properly and not be afraid of just go out and say something.
Yeah, that must have given you a lot of self-confidence.
Well,
And it's very nice to be on the stage.
reserved.
Reserved, yeah.
But yes, it has also helped me.
It's
now.
wonderful to sing and do music though, with other people and the energy from the audience, and it's a
Yeah.
very good feeling.
Yeah, it's a very good feeling, and I did make a mistake there.
It happens too sometimes.
But yes.
So you love jazz music and blues
Yes.
still today? Yeah, yeah. It's blues is very nice. Jazz too. I think I like all kinds of genres more or less, but it's such a good energy in those two
Indeed.
genres in music.
Yes.
Do you enjoy singing now?
I do. When I am happy, I always sing. Through the house, everywhere, I sing. And I'm not afraid anymore that anybody would hear.
That's wonderful. Yes.
Where are we in the story?
We are here. You said you dreamed becoming a hairdresser. Is that something you did pursue later?
Well, I never pursued being a hairdresser, but in the end, I did start to work with my hands.
Yes.
And it already happened a little bit when I was in Antwerp doing my accountancy work. I was already, I wanted to do something with my hands, and I took a course in foot reflexology.
Okay. And that's how you got
Working with the
into-
feet, and I loved it because I was always drawn to the feet. I always liked to touch people, to give massage or something within the family, but I was always intrigued about the feet, and I had read one book about reflexology, and then with feeling it's on certain people's feet, I started feeling all kinds of things, and I thought I need to study a little bit more about it.
And that's how you got into your field today, I'm guessing.
Yes, but I first needed to get to Spain for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're coming to that soon. But you said you built a strong career in accounting,
Yes.
I would say. And
I had about 86 people working under me.
wow,
I had to evaluate 86 people because it was not only the accountancy, it was also the logistic of 13 buildings. So the cleaning ladies, the repair people. I always said to my boss, actually, I said, I've got the money and I've got the key. Who's the most powerful girl here?
it's probably you. I will not dare to
That
not
was
be
my
your
joke.
friend then. That's very true. And what did you learn, do you think, mostly of being a position that you have to lead so many people, so much responsibility, very young?
I think it's in me. I like to be somewhere. I won't say important, but I like to do a job that I feel important in. And I always seem to, whatever I can do, I seem to scoop it in my lap. Maybe not such a good idea, but I am that way. I can't help it. I always ask and do more and more and more and more, and I get to a certain point. Yeah, well, I was financial and logistic manager at the Ministry of Labour for the Department of Antwerp.
That's extremely impressive, and so I think that having so much responsibility, you have to be very organized as well, I'm guessing. And being an accountant, that's probably some kind of the personality traits you have to succeed in that job.
Not everybody believes it, but I'm a Virgo, so that is
Oh, yeah.
like that, straight
Okay.
ahead.
I understand. You said that your biological clock was a turning point in your life.
Yes, and especially for my marriage, because from very small I wanted to be a young mother with 2 children, and I had this idea so long. But my husband, he was more of a career person, so he pushed me in that as well, so which was fine. But then we built a house, and then we bought a car, and then we bought this. And every time that I say, when are we going to start with children? He says, well, just wait a bit. We just bought this house. We just bought this car, bought this new computer. It was like all around money. And I started to get bored. You know, I wanted children, and I wasn't getting them, and my biological clock was ticking. I was 28, 29 years old, and I really wanted children. And I started, instead of being the housewife, I started to want to go out and do something, like have a good hobby. And I didn't know what that was either, because all my life was my work. At 7 o'clock I was at my work, making sure I opened the buildings, and I practically locked it. And at night, if an alarm would go off, it was me that went to check the alarms.
Okay.
So practically my whole life was my job. So when I thought about what can I do, I thought, well, let's go swimming.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so I went swimming about half a year. I didn't really like it. I learned how to swim really well. So that I can say.
That's always useful, especially in warmer countries.
Yeah.
It is.
So I learned how to swim. And then afterwards I thought, I need to do something else. I started some classes, Taibo classes. So it's
Taibo?
like, it's not Thai box, because with Thai box they physically hit you. Taibo, they do the movements of boxing on music.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
So, and I did that, and I
Learn
liked that
movement.
as well, until I got again to a level where I thought, can't learn anything more. I have tried all the teachers, that's it. And then I decided to go and play squash. And that I really liked.
Squash is fun.
Yeah, if your knees want to help, are holding on. Mine are not so good. But anyway, I joined, like I say, I always work myself up. And I joined the female group of, where I was doing the squash. And we would go every 2 weekends, we would go and play a tournament. And we were
that's nice.
ranking quite high. So we were in not the one, but not the first division, or I don't know how it's called in English, but the second one.
Second division.
Yeah, the
That's
second
good.
division. So we were quite good. And we were only 3 girls, and we had to always play, because you need minimum 3. So we couldn't be ill, but we loved it. So we went on doing that. And then actually my husband was seeing that I was enjoying myself somewhere else than at home. And he started to get jealous.
That happens sometimes in relationships.
Yeah. And I cannot say he's a bad husband. He wasn't a bad husband for me, but he wouldn't allow me to grow and to give me some freedom to do what I like to do.
He did support you a lot in your career, though.
Yes,
And
definitely.
pushed you very there, though.
Yes, definitely.
But he did not allow you to grow in other aspects.
No,
You mean?
and he actually said at the end, I would have wanted you to stay that 18-year-old girl that I met then, but that's not how life is. You
No.
evolve.
You always evolve, and in a relationship, I think it's important that you let each other evolve, but also have the date nights and a safety space for the relationship as well, of course.
Indeed. So I was the one that decided to separate, and I felt really guilty about that.
It's a very hard decision, I can imagine.
And it took me actually 3 years to make that break. But in the end, I was still working in Belgium, and I was still moving up the ladder, and I was doing my thing, but it was on my own. And at my work, there were, because I'm not there anymore, some very good colleagues and friends. And they were totally the opposite of me. We were like 5 ladies, and they were all very extrovert, so very open and loud and doing everything, and I was the odd one out. I'm the shy person. But I enjoyed the atmosphere with them. And we used to go on holidays together, especially skiing. We loved skiing. And there I met the father of my daughter. So I got to know him because of my friends taking me here and there. And yes, I didn't hide it for anybody that I wanted children. So I told this person, the father, I said, well, I don't know about you, but I want children. So that's it. And within 3 months, I was pregnant.
Wow, that fast.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that you have, now you have really grown a lot. Not that non-dominant person anymore, at least.
No. I was growing. I was getting more confident. And I was showing what I wanted. And I was not having any of it if anybody would have tried to talk me over again. So I had my girl, and I had my family in Belgium. I had a house, I had a good job, I had a partner, I had a daughter, and I felt really, really great. That was for me it, right? But I had one thing. My daughter's father, he is English.
It's English, yes.
English, and he came to live in Belgium with me. And he didn't like the climate in England, and he didn't like it in Belgium either, because it's about the same.
Cold.
Cold and horrible and rainy.
Yes, that's unfortunately how it is. Some places.
But he's more of a traveler, and he had lived abroad before, and he said, why don't we go and travel a little bit? So I took a sabbatical year, and with a very young child, we traveled to a lot of places, to America, to Canada, to Panama. Until we visited Spain, and we were more to the eastern side, and he said, I would like you to show you Fuengirola because I've lived there before. He said, shall we go? I said, yeah. Did I know that it was 5 hours drive? But anyway.
No, probably not.
we came over here, and we stayed here in Fuengirola a little bit. And at some point, I was standing, I don't know if you know, the stupa, the Buddha temple.
Yes,
in Pueblo. And we were standing there looking over the sea, looking at Fuengirola. And he asked me, would you consider living here? And I thought, well, to be honest, I kind of like it here. I like the climate, I like the beauty, I like the serene atmosphere, I like the people, which was very different than in Belgium. Spanish people are much more open.
Very open up, and the Mediterranean vibe and the energy is wonderful.
Yeah, when I walked over the street, the people that came along, they greeted me. In Belgium, they only greet you when they want something of you, so you kind of already put your stop in. But here, it's just all more natural. So I said, yeah, I would consider living here. It's not too far from Belgium. It's only 2.5 hours flight. If I need to be there, I can be there quickly. And he said, right, let's move. I said, whoa, not that quickly, please. I'm not an adventurous person. But I did. Within that sabbatical year, we moved to Spain, and I could take 5 sabbatical years.
When was this?
That was in 2007.
2007, okay.
Yeah. So I was already 36 years old then, and we came over here, and we rented an apartment, and later on another apartment, but we got somewhere settled where we liked it, and we were actually enjoying family life, because I didn't know that. I only knew work life, and I liked that, but what was being a family like? I learned that very quickly here in Spain.
Yeah, it's all about the balance of work and family life, and
yes,
yeah, you need both.
You need both, but I didn't know that at that time. I was still figuring it out. But another thing, you know, we were on holiday, and when you're on holiday, you can lay so much in the sun and walk around so much and see beautiful places, but then I get bored again. I need to do something. And I thought, okay, let's try to find a little job. I didn't speak any Spanish when we came here. I spoke 4 other languages.
Yeah?
Yeah. What they call in Spanish here flamenco, which is Flemish, French, English, and German.
That's very good.
I spoke 4 languages, but not Spanish. So I thought, finding a job somewhere where I need to speak Spanish, difficult. And also in the accountancy, I need to know the law, the legislation here in Spain. I don't know it. I have to start all the way back at the bottom. And I didn't feel like I was ready to do that. I thought, if I start again, I want to do something else. And I found the school Natura Class. It was the only school that I found where we were, here in Fuengirola, that were doing English classes. I mean, with English classes, courses in English, not in Spanish.
Yeah, okay.
So, and they were all about alternative therapies, which is my second interest. So I thought, I'll go and talk to them, and I came out registering for a course in holistic massage.
Very interesting. I'm going to talk about that now a lot.
Yes. So doing holistic massage, learning about it, I already knew that I liked working with my hands, so that's not a problem. But I actually liked it more than I thought. And there were some more courses, and I did about 8 courses in 1 year.
That much?
Yes, not bigger courses, also smaller courses. I did about 8. And when the courses normally run from September, October till June, a bit in July. But July and August, normally massage therapists are working. It's the high season.
High season.
Yeah. And so the boss of Natura Class, he asked me if I would consider working for Natura Class, but in the sites, in the hotels. He said, you speak 4 languages.
Yeah, of course, that's an extremely good thing here.
And you have studied 8 different techniques, and you already know reflexology. So would you like to work for us? And I said, yeah, I would like to try that. So I went to work in a hotel in Torremolinos, a big hotel, which is German-owned, so I could practice my German really a lot there. And I have to say, the first week, I did massages non-stop. I dropped my daughter off in the guarderia, in the child mind, at about 9 o'clock. I drove to the hotel, set up at 10 o'clock. I worked till 5:30, packed everything up, And then at 6 o'clock, I went back to pick up my daughter and go home. So I worked from 10 till 5:30, and I had a waiting line of people at my carpa, my tent where I was doing massages, and they all wanted massages or, you know, what I had to offer.
That's
And
very good.
the first week, my hands hurt a lot. I
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
say.
8 hours with
Yes.
massage.
Yes, my
Can-
hands were hurting a lot, but I had what they say in Spanish, a sonrisa de oreja a oreja, a smile on my face of contentment of doing this job. The people all were so, they were on holiday, yeah? They come for a massage, and if afterwards they say, oh, I feel so good, I feel so much more relaxed, and now I can enjoy my vacation more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if constantly you get reminded of that, it gives you so much satisfaction. I can assure you, I didn't want to do anything else, even if it hurt my hands.
You get a lot of self-confidence, and of course it gives you a lot of good energy.
Yes.
Nice to hear that you are, what you have been working for is giving people joy.
Yes.
But can you tell more, what is that type of massage?
Yeah.
For
So a
people who
holistic
don't know.
massage is more of a relaxing massage, which in a country like this with a lot of tourists, it's the most popular one, because people are stressed, people, you know, traveling. A lot of people don't like traveling, or when they move to another country, they have to get everything in order before, change money, get their work in order, get their house in order. Traveling, sometimes they don't like flying. When they are here, they are like a bundle of stress.
Oh
So-
yes, actually they are.
Yeah. So the only thing I had to do was telling or convincing the people, don't wait to do a massage at the end of your holiday. Do it in the beginning, because then you are so much more relaxed and you can enjoy your vacation much better.
Stress is something that a lot of people are dealing with now. Why do you think that is? And usually energies and stress is, you can walk around with it with such a long time not even knowing it is stress. How do you think that affect people and their mood and their general health? And what should people be aware of if they feel like they have pain? And how it's also very important to get treatment fast. Can you tell more about that?
Yes. I am a teacher now, so it's
Exactly.
part of the course that I tell them about 80% of all disorders and diseases are caused by stress. It starts in your head, yeah? And when it starts in your head, you start to tense up. And when you tense, then parts start to fail. It all depends on your own constitution, what will fail. Yeah, with some people it's headaches, with other people they get stomach pain, and other people get muscle pain. So everybody is different and everybody reacts differently. So 85%,
That's a lot.
you know, we need to learn how to manage our stress.
We don't in this part of the world that much in the Western world. I mean, in the Eastern you have yoga, meditation, Tai Chi, other type of way or coping mechanism to deal with it.
Yeah.
What would you recommend here to do, and how to be aware of it? Because we, like you said, we don't really think about it that much until it's maybe too late. I have so much pain, I need to go and get treatment.
Let's come back to that, but I'm going to explain why that is that we are now in this level of stress. 85% of the diseases, our life has become so much more speedy.
Makes
If
sense.
we drive with our cars at 120 an hour on the motorway. Yeah. You can imagine how your eyes need to be all over the place. Yeah. That's different than when you're walking over the street and you might be startled by a dog just going in front of you. That's a whole different way of reacting. our life is so quick now. Yeah? Our brain is constantly looking around, taking up stimulants here and there, and that is the cause of the stress, of the factor of creating stress. So we need to de-stress in just going back a step.
It makes sense. It's so much things to take in very fast, like you say there.
Yes. Yeah. It's everything. Yeah. We need to be up at that time because then we have to take the bus, or we need to be at work. We need to open because otherwise there will be a line of angry clients. It's
always something.
Yeah.
And a lot of impulses.
Time dependent, and that creates stress.
And in this part of the world, it's really like that because time is money, as we know in the West. And I mean, it's just the way the society is built. But what's good methods to distress, and what can you do for yourself?
Yeah.
What would you recommend?
Well, first of all, if you can take the bicycle or go walking,
it's more hefty too.
Yes, we are in an ideal place here. You can go to the beach. Just listening to the water is enormously distressing. It's like the waves, or the sound of the waves, is going through your head and takes away everything, and you just don't think about your stress. You put your stress to the side. That's what you do. Yeah, listening to the waves, walking in the sand, walking up the mountain, things that calm you down, that take your mind off the stress. And that's exactly what we also do in massage or with any natural or manual treatment. Because the client lays down, you start massaging, and they start relaxing. Putting everything to the side and enjoying that hour or however long they have paid for. That's their time. Let me tell you a little anecdote. When I was working in the hotel, in a tent at the swimming pool, I saw the sea, I saw loads of people around me who were enjoying vacation, and often you have a family, let's say, I'm not going to talk about family, just a man and a woman wanting both a massage, right? If a man goes and lays down on my bed, receives the massage, and is very happy, goes off. If the woman then comes on the bed, the man decides to bother her.
Yeah?
Yes. They do like shh to me, and then they go to the feet and start touching them, or the shoulders, or whatever. That I say, please, let this client relax.
Yeah, you would think they would. Come on.
How often that I've found, and it's always in that way, that the man is it a certain jealousy? I don't know, that the woman is relaxing in a different way than what they can give her. I don't know.
Could be, actually.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but that could be.
I just wonder why they would do that. It's not always, but it happened. And it happened quite a lot.
I think it's what you say. Could be.
Yeah. The man jealous that the woman is enjoying somebody else's hands on her. Probably.
I think so. You know, men are maybe sometimes very overprotective, but could be.
No, just that's besides the story.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you more about the traveling thing, actually. That's very interesting. So you got a daughter, and then you and your husband just choose to travel around America. You mentioned other countries.
Yes. Well, America came because his dad was living in Florida. So they wanted to see their grandchild. So we went over there, and they only have one son, so there was only one grandchild in their life, so they wanted to see her and spend time with her as well. So we spent quite a lot of time in Florida, and then from there we went and did some tours yes, around America. And also we went to Panama once because it's not so far from Florida
I heard
to
it's
Panama.
very nice
Yeah.
there in
It's
Panama.
hot.
It's hot, yeah.
Hot.
Probably yes, but
It's hot here in Spain, but it's a different heat.
down there
Down
is
there,
higher
yes.
humidity maybe.
Yeah.
But then you had like, I would say, having a year off, traveling around. Did you then got to think that it's more to life than just work? I want to do something else. Was it that also made a decision to move to Spain?
Yeah, well, in my head it wasn't there yet. Absolutely not. When it was more my partner's wish to move again, to get away from the cold and horrible Belgium and England, he wanted to move. I'm more the person who came behind.
Yeah, okay.
Who needed to be brought there. So I had to kind of go through my head, chew it over and think, well, actually, I am not losing my house, not yet. I'm
Not
not
yet, not yet.
losing my work in Belgium. I can safely do this for 5 years. So let's try, let's have a go. And enjoy also, because a child doesn't stay small. They grow
And very fast.
very fast. And I thought if in the meantime she can learn another language,
That's nice.
That's
And
really
easier
nice.
for her to learn it then.
yes. It was not so easy because we were speaking 3 languages. I was speaking Flemish to
Already.
her father was speaking English, and in the guarderia, in the nursery home, they spoke Spanish or
Wow.
bilingual.
It was a lot for her.
That was a lot for her. She had to, I had to cut down to 2. So I decided English and Spanish, because who in the world is speaking Flemish? Not a lot of people. So I thought,
No, not a lot, but
I thought,
it's nice to know.
yes, but she does understand a bit. You have to be careful if I speak with my family. She does understand. Yes, she does. Because she overheard it, and when we go over there, she hears it as well. So if she would decide to learn the language, I think she could learn it quickly. So yes, being in a different area, for her, that was a blessing for languages.
It's very nice. Did you go back or did you stay?
No, we stayed, but I went backwards and forth to see my family. And sadly enough, my dad passed away in May, and he had a long time that he was ill. So we went backwards and forth more times than usual. So I did, yes. When I go to Belgium, it's still my home country.
Yeah, I understand that.
But when I
heard
say
it's
I'm
very
going
nice
home,
there.
I'm coming to Spain. Yes.
Yeah, you've been
Yeah.
there for such a long time, and
From
you speak
2007.
Spanish. 2000 and
2007 we moved here.
yeah, it's starting to become a while.
Yes. 18 years.
And then this is your home.
Yes, it is. So maybe I could tell you about Natura Class a little bit more, because I was working.
Yes, I think you should.
I was working in that hotel, and in that hotel I was lucky I could also work there in winter. But in winter I was again curious about other courses, so I started to study more and more, and I became more and more a natural therapist. And I started to get acquainted with the Spanish as well. I also think if you live somewhere, you should learn the language.
Definitely. At least try as good as you can.
Yes.
Even though it takes time, and
It does take time.
it takes time, and just gotta try more and be curious about it, and involve yourself with Spanish people helps a lot.
The Spanish are very open. When you just try a little,
Yes, just give
well,
it a
then
go.
they get excited and they speak a lot Spanish to you, so you
Muy
have to
rápido.
say to calm down a bit. But they want to help you. So yeah, I stayed here, I worked more, and I studied more. Up to a moment, because I was connected to the school, I was doing courses there, but the teacher that has taught the holistic massage to me, she went away. And the boss of Natura Class said, Francy, would you be able to teach holistic massage? And I said, I don't know. I have never taught before. Yeah? I already have problems standing in front of people, which was already a bit better, but I've never done that. And he said, well, I will help you because I'm also a teacher. I will push you in the right direction. So in the beginning it was a bit hard because I needed to make my own study, course material. I could use the course material that I have received, but still you need to make it your own. So it takes a little while. But to be honest, I like that.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed, or I still enjoy, teaching.
How long have you done that now?
Yes, wow, about 15 years.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
That's really good. It's also, I think that I'm guessing that when you have been a student, you've been working, and then you're a teacher, you learn a lot of teaching your experience away to other people. It must be very good.
But don't take away my massages. I need to massage. I need to be able to touch the people and let them feel good. There's one thing about trying to pass on your spark for the job to somebody else, but still, what gave you the spark in the first place, don't take that away. Even, again, because I'm growing, so again, I was just going to school, then I was working, then I'm teaching, so I'm getting again more and more hay on my fork, but that's just me. I kind of evolve in that direction.
It seems to me that you evolve very fast when you just find your passion for something.
Yes. Yeah.
You learn fast.
When I find a passion, I really go for it. I really, and also for my students, I try to get the best out of them, whatever is possible. And some people, you have all kinds of people, and we work with adults. Normally adults are not the same like the school kids. The school kids sometimes go to school because they have to. And that's a difficult way of teaching.
Yeah, it's a different intention at
Yes,
least
yeah.
for being there. But how old is these people?
From 16 years old. Yeah.
Okay, and
Massage
up to-
from 18.
All right.
But beauty, for example, from 16-year-old, they can join courses.
Is this a private
Yes.
school?
Yes, private.
And yes, we're going to talk about that later, actually, where you can contact you and stuff. But what else do you offer on that school?
I'm sorry?
What kind of courses do you offer there?
Yes, we offer, of course, our main course is the holistic massage because it starts with that. People that are starting their career, they need to have a base, and the holistic massage is the base of it.
And that's basically, again, understanding the whole body.
Yes,
And,
yes. The whole body within the reasons of decency, right?
Yes.
Because we're not talking here about, for example, a tantra massage. We're talking about a professional massage.
Okay.
It involves the back of the legs, front of the legs and the feet, abdomen if they want, arms, neck and face.
And usually a lot of tension and stress is where in the body?
Often in the neck and in the shoulders, but in some people it's in the arms, depending on their jobs that they're doing. If they're waiters, for example, and they have to carry around a lot of plates of beer or drinks, and some people have problems in their legs, circulation. So it all depends on what a person does for a living as well, what pains and aches they have in the body. But often stress is located around the neck and the shoulders.
Yes, indeed it is. I can.
And it's also the part that you can't touch yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
your
it
arms,
is.
you can do a bit, your legs, you can do a bit, even your face, but your back.
It's not that easy. But yes, usually when it comes to, in my experience, it's also a lot around my neck and back.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Sitting on a chair is not always the best, although you have a good chair, I see.
Yes, I do, for now. But yeah, it's very important to have a good chair when you are working on a computer 8 hours a day. What other classes do you have there?
Yes, so from the holistic massage, then people look in what direction they would like to study more. Some people are more interested in spa techniques, everything that you find in spa. Some people are more interested in giving a strong massage, go into sports massage. And from there, maybe people would like to go into osteopathy, which is then, as a masseur, you're a specialist in muscles. And in osteopathy, you're starting to be specialist in joints and in bones, right?
I think that's very interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah, it was the first course that I did in Spanish. It's 3 years long.
Is it very hard to learn this?
No.
I mean, you need to have interest, obviously,
Yes.
but it's a lot of Latin words, I'm guessing, and it's a lot of theory hard to take in.
Yes. To be honest, when you have been through the holistic massage and maybe sports massage or something, you already know how to study, and you already
Yes.
have a good base of anatomy. This is important then to go into the osteopathy, for example.
I think that's very interesting.
We have other courses, like for example, kinesiology. We are starting. I'm
Maybe you can tell what that is for people who don't know.
Kinesiology is testing the muscles to ask the answers about your body to the subconscious. Right? So I'm telling you, the easiest question is, what is your name? Yeah, but I'm saying to you, is your name Frederick? And I would do the test and it should come out positive. If it comes out negative, then you're lying to me, right? You're
Okay.
asking the subconscious, because I am not asking that question directly. I do it with intention.
All right. Interesting.
And then you can ask
Way to
anything to the
work.
body.
Yes?
You can.
So you can, for example, ask a questions. Why do I have back pain?
Not why. It needs to be a question that is answered by yes or no.
Can you do a test now, or is it possible?
I could do, but it is, for me, it's
Okay.
easier when you lay down on a bed.
I understand. But that's a very interesting course to have
Yes, indeed.
in your school.
And it is the base of a more interesting course, which is called RB in Spanish, Restauración Bioenergético. In English, it is Bioenergetic Restoration, which is the combination of acupuncture, so the Chinese medicine, with the kinesiology. So we are
Alright.
testing with the knowledge of the acupuncture and all the ways of treating the people according to the traditional Chinese medicine, with the kinesiology and with protocols.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
And instead of using needles, we use silicia, which is like what we see, the crystals, yeah, chopped up, so little parts of it that have a certain frequency.
All right. Huh.
Everything in life has a frequency, right? Colors have frequency, the different stones have frequency, our voice has a certain frequency, and if you join the frequencies, then you create a link.
Okay, so that's how it works.
Yeah. So instead of putting a needle, we put the crystals on it with a yin or a yang, if you have ever heard of that. Yeah, those
That I've heard of.
frequencies, we work with yin and yang.
All right. Never heard of this before. It's
No,
very
it is.
interesting.
It's very interesting, and it's made here in Spain.
All right.
Yes. So it is an acupuncturist in Malaga who has, let's say, he has put a lot of thought in modern diseases. He said, he's right. So all the books about acupuncture are written 5,000 years ago, and the diseases that were valid then are not the diseases what we are struggling with, and with our stress, for example. Stress is a very important factor, and so he has developed protocols that combine the acupuncture with the recent diseases. So, and he made a protocol for that, and different protocols. He's already done that for more than 20 years.
That's very interesting. I'm gonna definitely try that.
You have to try it.
Yeah, really. I've done acupuncture, but I don't know if that did that much for me. I mean, it did.
You mean
in a way?
as a client?
Yeah, as a client, I did try that sometimes, but this is totally new for me, and that would be interesting to try.
Yes. Well, you can talk to the teachers on our open day, because soon we're going to open a new school again, and then we'll come there, and then you can come and visit us.
Definitely way. Yes, I just want to ask you as well, from student to teacher, then director, that's a big transformation. How did that journey unfold for you now, if you think back?
So what happened after a couple of years of teaching, the owner of Natura Class, we started to grow. You know, it was a school that was founded in 2003 and was working mostly with foreigners who were speaking English. But also the Spanish people were starting to get interested in the school, because they saw that Natura Class was giving good courses, but they weren't in Spanish. So we needed to find Spanish teachers, and mostly that were people that studied in English with us and then could also teach in Spanish. So we created a little group, and now I have to say that 95% of our students are Spanish.
Oh, that much?
Yeah.
That's very good.
So the school was getting more popular. We even opened another school in Malaga, so we had two at that time, one in Fuengirola and one in Malaga. And also the sites, the hotels in summer. At some point, we had about almost 20 hotels where we were putting massage therapists, because at that time there were not as many massage therapists formed. And it's also good that it's with a company, because if the therapist is ill, then the company sends somebody on. Right?
Someone else. When was this? When was this?
Well, that was around 2010, 2011, and it was in, I think, in 2014 or 15 that we opened the other school. So during the whole evolvement, growing, the owner of Natura Class said that he couldn't handle it alone anymore. And as I am kind of doing a lot already, I know a lot, he asked me if I would like to join and become, partner in the company. And that's what I did. And I take more the school under my wings, and my partner takes the sites, but he's general owner of the company.
That's very impressive.
So, administration, put that on top of my workload.
You have a lot of experience in that, so I'm sure you do well.
Yes, but to be honest, I prefer still working with my hands.
It seems that, that's the first thing you said. You wanted to be a hairdresser because you wanted to work with your hands. I think that you found something that fitted you perfectly.
So we grow and we go further, and that's what we do. And I love my job. I love being a therapist. I love being a teacher, and I also like being the director of the school, because it gives you more insight, and also more, you can decide more what you want to get into your circle. When I look at teachers, I want teachers that have that spark.
Yeah, that spark too.
Who don't want to hold anything in, who want to share their knowledge with the students, and the students want more and more and more. Right? So I have my nice...
That's how it should be, people sharing knowledge and basically create something bigger and better for everyone. That's nice. I'm guessing that in this type of field you can always become better. You can always improve and get new things into it. Do you often have a lot of different courses there? And do you always search for new techniques or stuff like that?
You do. Within my lifetime, I am now getting into that restoration bioenergético, bioenergetic restoration. But also, I've become very, very interested in facial reflexology. I've been following Lone Sorensen, if you've ever heard about her. She's now in Barcelona, and she has also about 20 schools over the whole world. But she only started in 2000 with combining the reflexology theory with acupuncture as well, all the meridians and everything, and she has made this routine on the face, and that is really, really interesting.
What's
and
that? What is that?
It's facial reflexology, so you use pressure points on
All
the
right.
face. So again, not needles, but your hands.
Your hands, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Your hands on the face. So the whole treatment is on your face. Unless
very
if you
interesting.
want to combine it with your knowledge on the feet, that's fine.
You can do that, yeah?
Of course.
And that's a course that you will have in your school soon.
Yes, in 2 languages, in Spanish and in English. So, bioenergetic restoration, I will be the first person who will teach it in English.
That's very good.
So, let's go. Put
Yeah,
Natura
let's
Class
go.
on the map.
That's definitely what we're going to try to do. I was thinking, if you are going into this field, what would you recommend for someone who wants to become a therapist? What kind of person do you have to be, or do you just need to be really interested in learning?
Yes, you need to be interested in learning. Don't be afraid of a bit of hard work, because like I already told you, when you have to do a couple of massages a day, and you need to earn a living, so you do need to do a couple a day, it's hard work. You need to make sure that your body is okay, that you stay healthy, that and that you're there for your client 100%. Because if you are 80%, 75%, you cannot give a good massage because you're not feeling well. So you need to work on yourself as well to become a good massage therapist.
That makes sense, actually, that you have to feel good about yourself to actually heal another person. But also you need probably to have some communication skills, because you are very close to a stranger many times.
In holistic massage, you don't need to be so much in communication. You need to ask if there's anything wrong with the body, the basic questions, and you learn that in school. We tell you that. In 2 languages if you want, in 5 languages if you want. We give you the standard things that you need to ask your client beforehand. And in holistic massage, you want the client to enjoy as much as possible. So if you ask, how is the pressure, and are you comfortable? And if they say yes, yes, and you say, okay, if there's anything, just tell me, and you just let them enjoy. So there's no more communication there, right? Maybe afterwards a bit of aftercare advice. Yeah. There was one word that you used, and I'm going to go back to it. You used the word healing, right?
Yes.
Before you heal people. Now, we are not the healers. Yeah. We give a key to a person, and they decide whether that key is best for them to heal themselves. Healing comes from within the person, not from my hands, but it's like a key. I give it and you decide to use it, yes or no.
It's a very good way to say it. But then you start with that course, for example, and then you can study more in your school, and that's how you find out what you want to do, because it seems to be a lot of different directions you can go in this.
Yes. And in my lifetime, I will study that. And with my background from working in the Ministry of Labor and talking to my colleagues who are trying to find the best job for a person because they're on the dole and they need to start working. So I've talked a lot with them over the coffee breaks. And that's still in me a little bit. like trying to find the best job for the person that comes to my class. And often I see people that have the ability to write a book about something, to study more. And I encourage the people as well. Don't forget that, you're very good at that. Maybe you will teach whatever you've learned now and more in your lifetime. I give them that little bit of information so that they can grow. Yeah? Stimulating the people is part of our job. They're not spending all their money, and it's a lot of money, to do nothing with it.
That's actually true. It's nice that you are inspiring people, because a lot of people are maybe not aware of that they could write a book even.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, you talked also about the challenges and the resilience. COVID hit a few years ago.
Yes.
How did that impact your school?
Right. Massages on itself is still considered, in a lot of cultures, is considered a luxury. So if a crisis comes, the first thing that happens is they will stop spending their money on courses like massage. That's the first thing. But COVID itself was so unique. You weren't allowed to touch each other anymore, come close, come within a certain distance. You had to wear masks and gloves, and we needed to adapt as well to that. But first of all, we had to close our doors.
For how long?
About 6 months.
Wow. Yeah, that's a long time for a business to be closed down.
6 months closed, but that didn't mean that we would stop. We had to change. We started to work with online courses. Some of the theory we could do online. So we set up Zoom meetings with our clients, with our students that were at that moment doing courses with us. Yeah, because it was from in the middle of a school year. All of a sudden, they couldn't come to class anymore. So the theory we did online, and our online courses are sometimes built from that, because that material we have used then to make an online course, right? Because it's the same as being in the class, because you see students there, students interacting with me, asking me questions. So that was quite interesting to use that. But also from that we created more and more online courses as well, which was a big hit during COVID. A lot of people bought them because there was nothing else to do, I presume. And afterwards it's not so popular anymore, but it still sells. So it's still a part of Natura Class that is running behind the screens.
Then I think that your school find a very good way to deal with the whole situation with the online courses, adapting and got through a very hard time.
Yes, got through. To be honest, the running costs, the fixed cost did not change. We still had to pay rent for a place that wasn't used, really.
And everybody's going to have their money.
That was very hard, and we're still recuperating from that.
Did you have to downsize anything, or?
Well, that's what we are doing now.
All right.
Because before COVID, we had courses for about, let's say, from 6 people up to 18 to 20 people in a class, right? An average would be like 10 to 15.
Yeah, all right.
Now we have classes from 2 till 8 students.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's a very big difference, because our overheads are still the same. And that's why we thought we don't need such big space where we are now. It's a very nice school, but we could do with a downsizing, so a smaller place, and that's what we're going to do now. Actually, in fact, tomorrow we move.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yes.
And you're ready?
I still need to pack a couple of boxes.
All right.
After this.
What do you love most about teaching and alternative therapies?
First of all, it has always been in me working with my hands, trying to give the people a good feeling. I'd loved to work with that. I also feel like as a teacher, I have that spark. In Spanish, a chispa.
A chispa.
A chispa. Yeah? It's a spark for the profession, and I am really willing to share that with anybody who wants to listen and come to my classes. I will make sure that I get the best therapist out of you, what is in you. That's my goal. And even stimulate you to grow better than me, because we should otherwise stagnate. You need to go forward. So give all you know as a teacher, and hopefully your students will become more successful than you. That's my idea.
It's a very nice goal to have, and really push people forward. And I really believe that as a student at your place, they get very interested and passionate about the field.
That's our idea, and the idea of all our teachers.
So basically, this is what's next for you now in life and in business life, and what is your basically your dreams now?
Well, I have another maybe 10 years before I retire, or I consider myself now ready to leave it to somebody else. I would like to bring Natura Class back on the map, show them that we haven't finished yet, that we still are there, making new courses, making interesting links with all kinds of other types of medicine. Like now we are really into combining the Western medicine with the Eastern medicine, and we are building on that, making it as easy as possible for the people to understand, because it is difficult to understand the traditional Chinese medicine. So that you don't have to study 5 years to dominate it. It's pre-chewed for you by the teachers before us, and that they can continue from there. That's what we're doing. Making sure that Natura Class stands on the map and that people know who we are.
That's perfect. I was wondering as well, now that you said that Eastern medicine, can you talk a little bit about that? Because a lot of people don't know what that is and how do they work in the thinking. But I know it's very ancient.
It is very ancient. It's more than 5,000 years old, which we can find in a book, because the rest, it's all gone. It's by wars and by bad weather and all kinds of disasters. You lose a lot of information. But yes, Chinese medicine goes from the theory that your body is not made out of systems. It's not like the digestive system and the respiratory system and the muscular system. No, they look at your body as a garden with elements. Yeah? You have fire in it, and you have earth, and you have water, and you have wind, and you
talk about the chakras.
No, I'm not talking about the chakras. I'm talking about the elements that make who you are.
The body and who you are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they look at the disease, they look at it not like, oh, your digestive system is not working. No, it could be that there's too much fire in your stomach. I'm just telling something that might resonate, as we have, for example, heartburn. Yes, but I mean, they work with the elements, and they work with meridians. So the energy in our body streams through lines, which are not like vertical or horizontal. They go from points to points. And they say those points, they are like doors. And the door can be open or closed. And if the door is open, then the energy can stream, and you live, and you're happy, and you're healthy. But if the door is closed, then you get ill. And then you need to open that door. But the acupuncture, where it all stems from, is very much Um, well, first of all, they look at diseases that were 5,000 years old and not the new diseases. And secondly, they use a lot of needles, just in case. I'll give you an example with what we all can understand, the headache. A headache can be because you're tired. That would be this point. Or it could be because you've got a stomach problem, or you've got your period, and that's then that point. So they're going to put needles all over your body, just in case that could be the cause. Right?
Okay, and so you're trying to treat everywhere.
Yeah, you treat it everywhere, so that you for sure tackle the headache, right? And that's what they do. You need a lot of needles, and a lot of people are afraid of needles. They used to work with gold and silver needles, but then that's so expensive. And with the hygiene, with the COVID, you need to disinfect them and sterilize them and things like that. So they started to work with stainless steel.
Yeah, okay, that's why.
And that's to throw away. So that's why they also started to work with the crystals, because that's a whole lot cheaper, with the same frequency as gold and silver, yin and yang, gold and
Same
silver.
frequency.
Same frequency, and work on the points, because it's been proven that whether you put a needle or you put pressure or the same frequency on it, that it will help as well.
Why does it help?
Don't ask me.
No, I don't know.
Don't ask me.
I'm curious.
Yes, it helps.
Yeah.
And it's only, for example, there was a Vietnamese doctor who was working in a clinic of drug users, of drug abusers, and during the war, a lot of soldiers came in that clinic, and he ran out of resources and needles and everything, and he had to start using his fingers to press on the points, and often he only saw the face because they were, injured all over the place. So he started experimenting with acupressure on the face.
That's how that got the start of it.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is proven that acupressure works the same as acupuncture, and that there's many more points than only the acupuncture points on the meridian lines.
So it's basically this field is evolving a lot now, a lot of new knowledge.
Yes, because of we are just exploring the Eastern way of dealing with health. Yes.
Yeah.
So we are trying to combine both worlds.
I think that's very interesting, because in India, yoga is very famous for the stress and the breathing and to regulate your nervous system. And then you have the Ayurveda, that is basically what you should eat because of different body types and
Yes.
food and stuff.
Yeah.
And
The doshas.
yes, the
Yeah.
doshas. It's very interesting, and it seems to be so much knowledge over there. And like you said, if you can combine it, I think it's could be very beneficial for a lot of people.
Indeed. And it's the teachers now that are starting to combine it.
That's very nice. Yes. Fortitude means strength. What kind of state of mind, mental qualities, techniques have you used to succeed in life and in business?
Yeah. I needed to, first of all, get over my own shyness and become a person that is able to express herself in front of a class, for example, or in front of the board where I had to present my numbers. I really needed to evolve that, make sure that I got that I dominate that. You also need some resources. You need to learn how to make a class. So you need to know how to use the computer and the viewer, PowerPoint. So you need a bit of that as well to be able to become a good a teacher and to do your job well.
Yes, makes sense. Where can people find your school if they are interested?
Yes.
Where can they contact you?
Well, the best way is to look at our website, www.naturaclass.net, N-E-T. Natura Class is spelled like natura, and then class with 2 S's at the end, because not everybody puts that in it. And so there you can leave a question, or you will find a WhatsApp number there or a telephone number. Now I do have to say we are moving tomorrow, and we will be back the 10th of September, I think, open for the public. So from then on, you can call me.
That's perfect. And all that information will be down in the show notes.
Yes. On the website, we also, if you follow us on Facebook or on Instagram, I'm not the person who deals with that, but there is also information circling that way, and also there you can leave a message for a question.
That's perfect.
People from all over the world come and study with us, because we also have intensive courses, so that you come to learn the practical side in our school, and the rest of the theory you do online wherever you are in the world.
That's very good. It seems to be very flexible for people who who want to do it very fast and in their own pace and the way they want to do it.
Yes, and I have people from all nationalities and from everywhere over the world.
That must be very nice to work with the international group.
Yes, we do give good diplomas, I do have to say. So the in-house diplomas are homologated by FENACO. This is a Spanish organization of naturopaths. But we also work with ITEC, which is an international platform for exams like this. We have some courses, especially the holistic massage, the reflexology, these kinds of the basic courses. You can do the ITEC exam, and this diploma is valid in 39 different countries. So that means, in theory, if you go and work in another country with a title, you have to go to the Ministry of Education, and you need to homologate your title to be able to work in that country. But ITEC is already approved in 39 different countries. So first of all, it's a level higher, and secondly, in those 39 different countries, you don't need to kind of go and homologate, because they approve it straight away.
That's very nice, and it makes it, just like you said, better, but also easier when you have done it.
And when you study with us, whether you do the ITEC exam or not, you get the same quality in course, because you get that high level of what we teach to everybody. I'm not making any separation. Everybody studies ITEC, whether they do the ITEC exam, yes or no.
Okay, I understand. That's very good. So, yes. Is there anything else we should talk about?
Well, we've talked quite a lot.
I think we have. It was really nice, and I've learned so much.
Well, thank you.
So thank you for having you here.
I just hope that I can inspire some people to do some courses or whatever they actually want to do in life. Just go for it.
I agree.
If they want to meet me, they know where to find me. naturaclass.net.
That's perfect. I think we'll end it here, and thank you very much for being here.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.